Guys, welcome to the Ike Gauntlet World's Toughest Towing Test.
Yes, it's been a while.
It's been a while, and today we have two trucks.
Yes, 2021 Ram we're in right now that has the E-Torque, the mild hybrid.
Yep.
With a HEMI and an 8-speed, and I guess I'll tell you what the next truck is when we get the next truck.
Well, can you introduce it now so people don't have
certainly.
to wait?
It's a 150 full hybrid with a 3.5 EcoBoost. And that's a 10-speed. This Ram is an 8-speed. And actually what we're doing here, we're maxed out on weight, so this is a super Ike for the Ram.
Yes.
So we know what it does at maximum capacity.
And guys, Ike Gauntlet, of course, is the world's toughest towing test because it's a 7% grade, 8-mile stretch right here in the Colorado Rocky Mountains. And we're gonna see how the trucks perform on the way up.
Yep.
We're gonna get fuel economy reading at the pump.
That's cool.
We just topped off the Ram.
Right?
Okay, we're at the bottom of the mountain. I'm gonna fill up the Ram. I'm gonna be using 91 octane both for the Ram and also the F-150. Okay, there we have it. Ram gives you a choice of fuel tank sizes, anywhere from 23 to about 31. Of course, the Ford F-150 hybrid only has one choice for you, but it's nice to know that this Ram offers you options. All right, Ram is topped off. Mr. Truck, let's go. Alrighty, so as always, we're gonna start the timer. We're gonna tell you what the truck says, right?
Right.
And then we're gonna tell you, of course, what the pump says.
And you're gonna go up at 35 miles an hour when you...
And then I'm gonna floor it, yep.
Wide open throttle. We'll see what this does. This is 395 horsepower and 410 pound-feet of torque.
Okay, so I'm gonna start it right now. Check it out. So the timer is going.
Oh, you gotta love that HEMI sound. That dual exhaust.
And of course those pipes are going straight back.
Straight back.
And 60 miles an hour is what we run this test at, which is the speed limit.
Yeah. And we were pulling maximum of what, 7,800 pounds?
Yeah, so we need to talk about that. So why are we using a 7,800 pound trailer?
Because that's the max towing capacity of this truck. And
yeah.
Because it has a 321 rear end. So it's one of those fuel mileage rear ends. And that with the 8-speed, that's what they're trying to do, is get a little better fuel mileage. And actually, it's not bad. It is showing a 22 on the highway, which is good for a 4-wheel drive truck.
Yeah, and also what that does, because your maximum towing capability is really maxed out by your cooling capability, right?
That's true.
And I guess that's what they rate this axle at, but they also have a 391 available.
Yes, that's the actual ratio I like for towing, but you know, we're comparing a couple trucks here. This is good, and you know, this has got a lot of 4-wheel drive stuff on it, but they don't call it an off-road package. I'm kind of surprised. It's got skid plates all over. Even this power steering's got a skid plate.
And a fuel tank and everything. The Ram 1500 truck uses a mild hybrid system. What does it mean? Well, it means it does have an electric motor connected to the engine using the serpentine belt, but this truck is not able to drive on electricity alone. The V8 engine is always involved. It's just a little bit more smoother system, and it has a very, very small battery, about 0.4 kilowatt hour. As always, we're going to show you the current specs, all the temperatures. So right now the coolant is about 221, trans temp 201, oil temp is climbing at 249, and of course oil pressure is great. Our tire pressures are within spec.
Yeah.
So we're doing well.
So you're running about what, 4,200 RPM?
Yeah, and I'm not using, so the hill is increasing. I can see the 7% grade hill now. Of course, the maximum elevation is 11,153 feet above sea level.
But do you know what gear you're in?
No.
Do you want to?
I do want to, but I think there is a mode for that. I think you can actually go into this computer system and actually configure it. But right now I am running at about 4,500 RPM. I'm not using 100% throttle yet. It seems like I have a tiny bit left.
That's good. That's what you want. You want some reserve power on this. And what in the world do we have back on that trailer?
We have Tommy's favorite TFL Classics project.
Yeah, I've driven this truck.
Yeah, you reviewed it with Tommy. It's a 1965 Ford F-150 Frankenstein, because it's got heavy-duty axles and frame.
Well, yeah, and it's actually got that divorce transfer case. So
yeah, like a highboy.
Yeah, like a highboy. So, you know, the chassis on this is pretty cool.
So I had to do some finagling. I had to push the truck as far back as I could, balance out the tongue load, basically.
Yeah.
I made sure it's tied down properly. And then I had to remove the tonneau cover and the bed divider on this truck and remove as much stuff as I could.
Oh, sure.
Because we're payload limited.
Yeah. And so are we at 10% tongue weight?
Approximately, so about 750
so you
is my tongue.
Payload, yeah. So that's this. You did a good job of tying this up. You're getting so good at that.
Well, thank you. Well, I do have my CDL.
There's a brake line back there that's getting pinched. No. I'm worried about that, but it's it's not your truck, so well.
No, I was very careful, like you said. We have 4 tie-down points. Safety is number 1, right?
Yes. Of course, we're using Gen Y adjustable hitch like we do all the time on our test runs. And of course, we've added the weight distributing hitch so that we've got everything level and secure and stable.
Let me measure the sound really quick because we're nearing the top and this is maximum load right now. Oh my goodness, that was 65 decibels. That's very quiet.
Well, it is, and that's yeah. I imagine it's much louder back there where those dual exhausts come out and have that wonderful sound.
Yes.
Now this is a car trailer, so your mirrors they're bigger than average. But what do you think? Can you got good visibility back there?
Yeah. So a couple of things. First of all, I do have blind spot monitoring.
Yeah.
The truck knows the length of my trailer because it kind of adjusts it and measures it. It says 20-footer, which is pretty much true because the deck of this trailer is 18 feet.
I love that device. You turn that first corner, the camera measures the trailer. That's wonderful.
And then the mirrors, and then the mirrors have spotter mirrors on both sides.
On both sides.
So I feel really good. I can see down the sides of both sides of the trailer. I feel confident. I like what Ram has done with their suspension. Even though the payload is low on this truck, it's just over 1,000 pounds.
Yeah, payload's 1,010. You look confident.
Well, right now, the reason why I'm a little concerned is because there's traffic bunching up here near the top.
And you're still wide open throttle?
Yes.
You're doing very good. This is hard when you get heavy traffic. You got people even on the side of the road interfering with you. Yeah, it's not easy. You're doing good. That's why we call this the professional run, because not every average person should up there and try to do the Ike Gauntlet.
Yeah. Right now we're at the end and stop. 757, dude.
Wow, that's pretty good.
It says 4.7 MPG as far as the uphill.
And that's pretty good for pulling maximum capacity.
Yeah, it is. So, guys, 8 minutes would be a perfect run, right?
Right.
Because that means we kept the speed limit for 8 miles, 60 miles an hour. So, the HEMI did okay.
Yeah, it did. And that's probably about a mile to the gallon, a little better than a lot of vehicles will do with a max trailer. So no, it did very well. But the latest thing now with trucks is the tailgate wars. Ram has one, we call it the barn door. And you don't want to just drop the tailgate, you might hit your jack or your trailer. But if you do this trick, look at that. I'm not touching the trailer, I love it. Then you can have access to it, you can open both doors, you can do all kinds of stuff. This is actually pretty good with the trailer.
Yeah, check it out. Aha!
And you got a full open door. I love this.
So, on the downhill portion of the Ike Gauntlet, we are going to count brake applications like we always do.
Yep.
And the reason why I want to do that still is because although these trucks have adaptive cruise control systems,
right,
I feel it's not a great comparison because these trucks tend to overuse their brakes, in my opinion. So let me pop out of the tunnel. Whoa!
You didn't make it to 50.
Okay, so I'm almost at 50. I'm gonna let it go, and every time we just go over 60, about 61. I'm gonna apply my brakes, bring
Okay.
it down to 50, and we're gonna count those brake applications.
Yeah, I know adaptive cruise control, you're against using that for this test, but I understand that. And two, like you say, you don't really know if the truck's braking or if your gain's set up high enough that the trailer's doing most of the work, so
Right.
you don't know which one is wearing out. So I understand that. I enjoy using those things to control the trailer, and that way the person without experience can still tow coming down these kind of crazy hills.
So look, I did one brake application, it downshifted for me. It's running at about 4,400 RPM. So it's actually working pretty okay.
Well, that is the way it should do. And this is an 8-speed, so you got
Now I have to use my second brake application.
getting down there. Well, that's cool. So that's 2.
But it did downshift at least twice, so that was nice.
That's what it should do. And I think these 8 speeds and 6 speeds do better than the 10 speeds when it comes to natural grade shifting without using adaptive cruise control. Both these trucks are luxury pickup trucks. This is the Longhorn and the Ford is the Platinum. They're both over $71,000. Actually, the Ram is $100 cheaper than the Ford for these mild hybrid and a full hybrid. Now, can you tell when you're braking this, is it still really stable with the coils, you know? The back's not moving around, no Elvis pelvis.
No, and I feel good. Yes, the rear end is squatting a little bit.
Yeah.
More than the front, but I still have perfect control. I don't feel like I'm losing steering capacity or capability, and it's pretty stable.
How many counts are we at now?
Well, I'm at 8 and I'm almost, I have to do my 9.
Yeah, so
I have to do my 9.
nothing special there. 9 brake applications.
My RPMs are holding high, so I liked seeing that.
Yeah, the grade
shifting.
shifting is actually doing well. I'm just surprised that you had to use it that many times. But, for an 8-speed, a lot of 10 speeds are hitting that 8 and 9 brake applications. And so, I mean, that proves that the 8-speed can work for these trucks.
So there you have it, guys, 9.
9.
So let's see how the Ford will perform on the way down and also up.
Yeah, that's interesting because I haven't run one of those yet down the hill to see what they do.
All right, so going all the way up the mountain, turning around, being stuck in a little bit of traffic and coming back down. 8 MPG in the Ram, 22.5 miles reported. All right, Mr. Truck, let's figure out how much fuel we used in the Ram.
That's a good idea. I love these capless caps. But are capless.
There's no cap.
No cap.
So, Mr. Truck, you said this truck is equipped with the largest tank. Hold on a second, 30 seconds. So, Mr. Truck, you said this truck had the largest tank, the 33-gallon tank, right?
For Ram.
For Ram, yes.
Right.
Not for the class, I mean for Ram.
Sure, certainly. I mean, it's a lot better than what the Chevy's been coming out with lately. Okay.
All right, let's top off and figure it out.
We didn't use that much fuel. I'm surprised.
So the gallons we used in the Ram is 2.66. Let's calculate.
Yeah, that's hardly even using any fuel.
So we went 22.5 miles. That's round trip, including the tunnel, including everything we had to do. Divide by 2.66 equals 8.5, Mr. Truck.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So the big question is, how will the F-150 hybrid compare?
That's true. The advantage it has is that braking.
Yes.
When that recharges
Regen
the
braking.
batteries, regen braking. So we'll see if that makes a big difference. We'll see if the 10-speed makes any difference. This is the 8-speed on the Ram.
Let's go.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Truck, I removed the weight distribution, so I want to check the squat here in the back.
Well, that's good. So you got all the tongue weight right there on the truck now.
So empty, unloaded, it was 39.5. Now we're at 36.5. I checked both sides, about 3 inches of squat, which is a little bit more than I would expect.
Yeah, a little bit, or 2 is normal. 3 is just a little bit high. Now, did you measure it with the weight distributing? How much did we gain by putting spring arms and weight distributing on it?
Just a fraction of an inch, man.
Wow.
Not much.
So you need to go tighter on the spring arms, huh?
Yes. Mr. Truck is always a perfectionist.
Always complaining, that's
No,
my job.
he's a perfectionist. Okay, so to start, the Ford was at about 40.5 inches. And now, this side is at about 38. The other side is a little bit lower. So it's about 37 3/4, which means it's about less than 3 inches of squat actually. So the Ford squatted less than the Ram.
All right, let's put some of this cheap premium on here. 372. I love the capless one. I love it. You know, this tank is a little smaller than the Ram. How come it didn't fire up? There we go. A little smaller than what the Ram has. This is a 30.6. So, I guess they need more room for the battery, plus you can actually run it on electricity. So you probably average up pretty well. Because they're saying this one does over, what, 700 miles till the tank full, considering everything. Okay, 30 seconds. Alrighty, we're full of fuel and ready for action.
All right, Mr. Truck, are you ready?
Yes, indeed.
We are in the Ford F-150 hybrid.
And we're going to see what that 10-speed does up the hill. That's usually the advantage of the 10-speed, is that
All right.
climb.
So first of all, I'm going to start the timer at the same time, about 35 miles an hour, and go. Whoa. Feel those twin turbos?
Can you even notice there's 7,800 pounds following you?
Not really. Dude, we're already at 60.
Yeah, it's in here. Should have no problem going up there at the speed limit.
Dude, the power of this engine is pretty spectacular. 430 horsepower.
Right. 570 pound-feet of torque.
That's
10-speed. And at 373, that's one of my favorite towing axle ratios.
yeah,
And this is what the GVW in this is like 7,300 pounds?
7350. So what they did was they're pushing the GVW, gross vehicle weight, a little bit higher. And it gives the truck more payload because this truck is quite heavy actually. The F-150 is a full hybrid, and of course this is a V6 twin turbo. But the full hybrid means that this truck is able to run sometimes on electricity alone. And it has a bigger lithium-ion battery, about 1.5. And that battery is about 3 times as big as in the Ram. Dude, right now I'm barely turning 2,500 RPM. Of course, I have digital gauges. You know, these trucks are matched up pretty closely on options and price.
Well, yeah, that's amazing. They're both in that, what, $71,000 range?
Yep.
What does the, do you know what gear you're in on this?
Well, yeah, that's pretty easy. I don't have to do anything fancy. I'm in 7th.
Wow.
That's 1-to-1, dude.
Well, yeah.
Now I'm in 6th.
You got three overdrives to go. Ford loves overdrive. It's just it's a weird thing with them. They love to be in overdrive.
So this truck is a little bit different though, right? Because it does have the leaf springs.
Yes.
Not coils. And the overall, this truck sits a little bit higher than that Ram.
Right. Now this squatted, what, a ½ inch less?
About ½ inch less, yeah. So far, you know, I feel really confident. This truck is almost as level as can be.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
And I think I like, you know, the Ram had the great interior, but I like their mirrors a little better. I mean, these are nice mirrors, but I think they had a little more reach.
I feel, you know, the Ram was at the maximum payload. This is not.
Yeah, this should be not strenuous at all.
No, it's not strenuous, and I feel a little bit more chill. Even though the Ram was okay, I feel even better in this Ford.
Plus your sway with the, you know,
I don't feel any sway.
This is a pretty tight spring.
Yeah.
Now we're still at Tailgate Wars. That's the new thing. It used to be console wars. There's always something. But will this tailgate work with a hitch on it, with a trailer hooked to it? I'm going to push this magic button in the key fob twice and see what happens. Will it hit the hitch? Will I have to buy a new tailgate? What will happen? Look at that. It missed it. And it'll go up.
Can you open the step?
This step right here, let's see. I bet you I cannot. Oh, I can pull it out and drop it on the hitch. Nope. So you can get the tailgate down so you can pull stuff out, but you cannot use the step.
But Mr. Truck, look, you can put your device here, your pencil, you can do some work.
And you can open your bottles of milk right there.
Or you can also tie down your lumber.
That's true.
So yeah, so first of all, this truck is not using a lot of RPM. Like I said, I'm bouncing a little bit between 6 and 7, depending on how much acceleration I need.
Right.
And you know, both of these trucks, this is not enough weight for them. You know, they could tow twice as much, you know, if we would let them.
Yeah, you'd have to get rid of some of that tongue weight to work it on the Ram. But yeah, I understand that. Well, that's what when EcoBoost first came out with the twin turbos.
Yeah.
I said we got to find a taller hill because that's what made the benchmark of 8 minutes. And,
well, we can't. This is the highest interstate in the country.
Yeah, so they were going to have to do something different. But
are we going to Everest next, or
yeah? Let's go to Tibet and look for some hills.
Let me measure the sound since we're in about the same section of the mountain right here.
Well, that seems a little louder than the Ram, isn't it?
No, Ram was 65.
60, yeah, but that's 69, isn't it?
That was 61.
Oh, see, when you showed it to me, it must have went up. But
oh,
that's cool, 61. Yeah, I was wondering. That's good. That's very good. That's
well, dude, because the revolutions of the engine are pretty low.
Yeah, right. Lower RPMs. You're right.
I am using tow haul mode, of course, on this test. But in tow haul mode, the hybrid system, you know, actually doesn't shut the engine off as often as it would in the normal mode or eco mode. So it's using a little bit more power because of this. But I have to use the tow haul mode because it's apples to apples, right? We're trying to compare both trucks in a very even way.
That's true, and you know, a lot of times we use tow haul mode because it actually helps slow you down, you know, coming downhill.
Hear this? Stopping. 7 minutes 58.
Oh.
The other one was 7:57.
Yeah, I mean,
so it's within human error, right?
Yeah, that's about time.
I just wanted to point out that the trip meter is showing 4.0.
Right.
And the Ram showed about 4.7 at this moment in time.
Well, that's very interesting.
But you have to remember that the Ram is equipped with that efficiency rear end, right?
Yes.
Let's see what Mr. Truck is up to. Hey, Mr. Truck.
What?
Are you asleep?
Oh, I'm just taking a nap.
Well,
just checking for holes in my eyeballs.
Reclining seat?
Oh man, these are nice.
Oh.
And they vibrate too, man.
Oh no.
This is better than a hotel.
No.
Bunch of speed. Give me speed.
All right,
full
so
throttle.
I need to come out of the tunnel at around 50 miles an hour. Oof, it's bright, dude. Okay, there I am. I am at 50.
And your tow haul mode's on?
My tow haul mode is on. I'm in 4th gear. And this truck is relatively happy for now. Same thing. As soon as the truck gets to 61 approximately, I'm going to use my brake to slow it down to about 50 and count brake applications.
You know, this is kind of weird looking at your gauge. I'm trying to figure out which one's attack and which one is
I know, it's a little bit overwhelming. Here, my first brake application.
Okay, there's one. And here's these semis that crowded ahead of us here.
But look at this. I'm also using the EV coach.
Well, yeah, that's from braking. That's from regenerative braking.
Yeah, and it's also, see, it's telling me that I'm in the charge portion of my drive down. Now, why did this semi go in front of me
These two
and block
guys,
me?
yeah, they're just been a pain in the last half hour. So
I did one brake application.
Yeah, we're at 3,300 RPMs. I can't quite understand this gauge. It's like looking at aircraft. Yeah, move over, I-beam. He's got I-beams going right through his cab the way he's driving.
But focus right here in the middle, because right now it still says I'm in charge mode.
Wow.
Which means I am using a little bit of regen.
Well, good.
And that's nice to know. Okay, my second brake application. Let's see if it'll downshift for me.
What gear are you in now?
I'm in 4th still. It's not downshifting, dude.
Well, the RPMs, that's actually pretty decent. If it gets around 4,000, I'd be happier, but you're 3,700 RPMs.
Yeah, I know, and I was hoping that this hybrid system would be actually a little bit better at slowing me down, but right now it's still accelerating. I have to do it again, dude. Okay. So that's 10. And we're almost done. We're done. All right, guys, we're at the end. 10 brake applications.
And very close to 11.
It was very surprising. Very surprising. I thought the Ford might do a little bit better, but it did not. All right, take a look, guys. We took a slightly different route leaving the gas station. So 23.7 miles. And 7.9 according to the trip meter. Let's figure it out at the pump.
Our capless filler. Raindrops are falling on my head.
What, again?
I know it. We just don't have much luck with weather going up the Ike. Either it's snowing, or it's raining, or it's ice.
Well, today it was okay, actually. Not too bad.
Yeah, it wasn't a blizzard, that's for sure. Okay, 30 seconds.
Okay, so we went a little bit further.
Yeah, and we went an extra gallon on there. Right?
And we used an extra gallon.
Yeah.
That does not look good.
No. It might be that 7.9 that the computer was trying to tell us.
So come over here. Let's do this calculation. So this is what we got with the Ram. Now, we went 23.7 miles in the Ford. Divide by 3.62 gallons equals, whoa, 6.5.
We lost 2 over the Ram?
Yes, almost 2 MPG lower. So I think when I was accelerating up the mountain, I must have, it's either eco or boost.
Well, yeah, that's so weird because it's almost the exact same time as the Ram. And you weren't pushing it as hard, but this one you was probably letting out the throttle more than you were pushing down.
Exactly, but I think initially, you know how we go full throttle immediately off the line when we're emerging, and I think that moment must have used a lot of fuel, but guys, this is a surprise. Let's review the numbers, shall we, Mr. Truck?
Yeah, that's cool. There's quite a few numbers we learned about today.
So let's talk about on the way down the mountain. Ram 9 brake applications, Ford 10.
Right.
So Ram did a little bit better.
Yeah.
On the way up the mountain, about the same time.
Yeah, all that stuff was really very similar.
Yes, but the fuel economy, Ram took the prize today.
Yeah, by 2 miles to the gallon, that's a bunch. That's a surprise.
That's a huge surprise. But, so guys, let us know what you think. Using all the data you just saw, the Ford was a little bit more confident, with this suspension and the handling of this weight. It was a little bit quieter, a little bit more relaxed on the way up the mountain. It has more payload and towing capability. But the Ram just edged it out on this trailer just a little bit.
That's true, and everything was close on them. The gross vehicle weight rating was very close. The price, 71,000 plus, very close. And they were within $100 of the price. So everything was actually so much closer than I thought they would be.
So guys, use the comment section below. Let us know your pick on this Ike Gauntlet comparison. And as always, go back to Mr. Truck.
Yes, MrTruck.com, MrTruck.tv, and we sell accessories for your trucks.
Yes, and also, of course, TFLtruck.com. Thank you.